Good morning, everyone. My name is MightyStream. I'm going to do our March the 9th just for today in a meditation. Hope you're doing well this morning. Would be doing better if I was asleep, but I'm not. It's about 3:14 a.m. The title of the meditation is Small Things. In the past, we made simple situations into problems. We made mountains out of molehills. That comes from our basic text, page 90. Making mountains out of molehills seems to be our specialty. Have you heard it said that to an addict, a flat tire is a traumatic event? Or how about those of us who forget all pretense of principle when confronted with a bad driver? And what about that can opener that won't work? You know, the one you just threw out the second-story window. We can relate when we hear others share, God, grant me patience right now. No, it's not the major setbacks that drive us to distraction. The big things, divorce, death, serious illness, the loss of a job will throw us, but we survive them. We learned from experience that we must reach out to our higher power and others to make it through life's major crises. It's the small things, the constant day-to-day challenges of living life without the use of drugs that seem to affect most addicts most strongly in recovery. When the little things get to us, the serenity prayer can help us regain our perspective. We can all remember that turning over these small matters to the care of our higher power results in peace of mind and a refreshed perspective on life. Just for today, I will work on patience. I will try to keep from blowing things out of proportion and walk with my higher power through my day. Let's take a moment of silence, followed by the we version of the Serenity Prayer. Moment of silence now, please. Thank you, God. Grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Just for today, please and thank you. Talking about small things, I think I agree. I think that it's the smaller things, a broken nail at the wrong time, jabbing your foot somewhere because you're rushing and your spatial is off, or um, you know, breaking a glass in the kitchen. It's the smaller things that we tend to explode. We don't seem to handle those smaller things very well. And I think that those smaller things tend to reveal our real level of surrender. And so if I'm thinking about the last time that I reacted in rage, road rage, driving, yeah, it's not good. And many of us can think of, so many instances where we took something that typically you would think would not be a big deal and blew it out of proportion. It just reminds me of the straw that breaks the camel's back. It makes me think, wow, MightyStream, you can talk about faith and you can talk about love and hope and kindness and all these beautiful spiritual principles. But let someone that is in customer service at a department store treat you dismissively. And it's like it wakes everything up in me that was ever muted discriminated against, bullied. It wakes everything up in me. And typically, I match the energy. Why? Why is that necessary to match this person's energy when they're probably, if I'm being completely honest, probably in need of a 12-step program, but haven't surrendered to it? Why would you, Mighty Stream, think it's okay to blow that situation way out of proportion? You know, this meditation is such a small one, but it's really triggering a lot of thought for me. And it should for you as well. Like, how spiritual am I actually if I can't handle a cashier putting my money on the counter instead of my hand? How petty, the queen of petty.com, can I be walking into a grocery store and not being acknowledged by the greeter, but turning around to find that the greeter is acknowledging someone else of a different race? How petty. Yes, does it make it right? Absolutely not. But what is my problem that I have to make that situation into a whole issue for someone that's just really trying to do the job? I don't know what's going on when they see me. I'm a very forward moving, fast walking. The earth shakes when I walk through, right? I'm very intentional and usually in a rush. So why would they greet me? And I'm thinking about this because it's important for us to apply this personally. And so if you're listening, think about it. What have you experienced recently? In the I double dog dare you just to look at the last 24 hours. I bet you there's something in the last 24 hours that you blew out of proportion. And you're not even thinking it belongs on your 8th step or your 10th step where you're making prompt amends. You're not even thinking along that lines because you've gotten so used to behaving in a manner that demonstrates a lack of maturity. I mean, point blank, that's what it is. When I act like that, it is like having a temper tantrum at my old age with decades clean. I don't have the right to do that. I don't have the right to treat people like that. And I don't need to treat myself like that because believe me, there's been a few times where I've had to go back to the store and walk directly up to the person and tell them, I was just here and I just want to apologize to you. You're doing a great job. You don't deserve that. I'm really sorry. Can you accept my apology? And you know what? They're like, oh, yeah, I wasn't even thinking about it. And maybe they were or they won't. But generally speaking, in those situations that I've had to go do that to ease my side of the street and clean it up or ease my conscience, yeah. And I could have avoided it completely just by applying these spiritual principles in all my affairs. So let's do that today. Let's stop acting like childish children, throwing temper tantrums, blowing up at the smallest things, but let a car wreck happen. Oh, we got this, right? Lose a loved one. Oh, I got this. I know what to do because you know why? Because it's coming through my front door and I see it coming. And I know that in order for me to remain clean, right, and free from guilt and shame, I need to handle whatever that huge thing is properly. But let it slide in through a side door or back door. In other words, let it take me off guard, and you'll see. You will see me struggle to apply the spiritual principles innately, like without a second thought. You will see me struggle. If it's not in the fact that I might roll my eyes or I might huff or here we go. Okay. All right. Okay. Don't snap, right? Self-talking myself out and down from behaving in a manner that demonstrates a lack of maturity. Hey, look, I'm just telling my story because I know that it happens to everyone. There's no possible way that you've not experienced it. And I don't need to tell your story. I need to tell my story, right? And I know you can relate. And hopefully you are benefiting from the therapeutic value of one addict helping another and looking at your own circumstance. What are you blowing out of proportion? And I guarantee you, the people that live with you, that are around you, they see it, they know it, and they steer away. They stay out of your way because that's what happens in my home. Let me snap over the trash not being taken out. And it can be a whole 3-4 hours before anyone engages me. You know why? Because I've showed them that I'm short-tempered and they don't want to be in the line of fire. No, that's not okay. So I think for me, this meditation is saying, hey, look, MightyStream, let's go deeper. Let's start looking at the small ways that you're not applying the program. Let's look at that because you got this big stuff down pat, but let's look at the smaller things and let's work on that. Let's work on saying good morning to everyone. Let's work on saying good night to everyone. Let's work on hugging people when they greet you at the door instead of trying to get in the door and get your shoes off and upset that they're basically just letting you in the door so you don't have to use your key. Stop being childish, MightyStream. Let's go. Let's go. Let's really work this program. I want you to do the same. Enough of me. Now, it's about you. How are you going to apply this? Are you going to work on your patience today? Are you going to try to keep from blowing things out of proportion and walk with your higher power through your day? And even beyond that, are you going to have a beautiful day on purpose? How about that? I hope that you do. Talk to you tomorrow.